Hello there, Dr. Sheep here. Welcome back to another TGIF Talks, episode 84, 85?
86, 87?
Who knows? Might even be 86, I don't know. I'm your host, Dr. Sheep, joined by co-host Anonymous Phil.
Do you keep track of them?
Yes, we always have.
Then how do you lose count every time?
I'll describe after we roll the intro. Shh. It's a whole... It's easy for me to lose track of.
Wouldn't you like to get away?
It's Friday. Gotta get down on Friday.
And they're always glad you came.
These podcasts are broken down into 4 parts. First, we have how our weeks have been, followed by the news, followed by your comment, followed by a random 4th topic that we need to come up with still.
Me?
Oh, we. Yeah, you could help, you know.
Oh, I suppose.
Anyways, this is podcast 84. This is...
For sure?
Yes, I checked while the intro was rolling.
I see.
This is the last TGIF Talks of the year.
Yep.
And
no more
it's...
podcasts.
Huh?
What?
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 What were you gonna say?
I said no more podcasts.
Oh, no. We can't stop doing podcasts.
Is that what you thought I said?
That's exactly what you said. Well, no, anyways, this is going up Friday, the 24th of December, which means it's Christmas Eve. So Merry Christmas to everybody watching. And anybody who doesn't believe in Christmas, go to a Chinese restaurant and have shrimp fried rice.
Yum.
As I've learned, those are the only places open on Christmas, are Chinese restaurants.
And bowling alleys.
And yes, and movie theaters.
Yes. And apparently airlines.
Oh, right, yes. Well, I guess if we're going to talk about the week, was a whole story to talk about the past few days with me, but let's talk about your future. What are you doing next week?
Working.
No, you're not.
Yeah. I go to work tomorrow.
No, that's this week.
My work starts on Monday.
You know, I learned a thing. So the U.S. and several other countries, the week starts on Sunday.
But for most jobs, at least for my job, they consider the last day of the week Sunday.
Well, anyways, what are you doing next week?
I already told you, working.
2 weeks from now, even though it's
2
not
weeks from now.
2 weeks from now.
Yes, 2 weeks from now.
What are you doing?
I guess I'm going on some trip.
Some trip.
Some trip. Kyle can tell you more.
Kyle's not here.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, you're going to Disney World, right?
Yeah.
Kind of.
What do you mean, kind of?
I mean, you are going to Disney World, but like, I don't think there's gonna be not enough time there to actually like see all the things that really everybody wants to see.
Yeah, I suppose not. That's kind of what happens with, trips, You get a glimpse of it.
Pretty much.
But we'll be there for a couple days, several days, so. I think there's like 4 major parks. Is it Animal Kingdom, Magic Kingdom, Epcot, and was it Hollywood Studios?
I don't know.
Is that Hollywood is Star Wars, right?
I have no idea. I don't pay.
I guess they have some Star Wars themed park. I think that's Hollywood Studios.
Yes, and Kyle,
that's where we're going. And so we're spending a day at each of those. So a day at Magic Kingdom, a day at Epcot, a day at Animal Kingdom, Magic Kingdom. I think I already said that.
I mean, theoretically, if
And
I were
then
you guys, I would
And what?
I mean, if I were you guys, I would probably like just basically give everybody free reign. And kind of just like, okay, go to what you want to go to, go visit what you want to visit.
It's supposed to be a family thing.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you all go and kind of follow around. Because what you think you might not enjoy, you may in turn actually really enjoy.
Yeah, no, I mean, the last big trip I went on, where they're like, fine, do what you want, I got lost.
Yeah. I wonder why.
Because Google wasn't updating. I couldn't get any service.
But if you had a group,
Well,
multiple
I
people
had a
being like,
group.
oh, I know where to go.
I had a group. And then the group told me, okay, yeah, go off, go do the thing, and then
Go
we'll
do
meet
whatever
you
a
here.
doctor do. Go do whatever a sheeple does.
So they were, okay. Did I ever tell this story?
I have no idea what you're talking about right
It's
now.
Washington, D.C.
No.
So, I don't remember. So I was in Washington, D.C., and my advisor took everybody but me to go see the Holocaust Museum. And I didn't want to see the Holocaust Museum. I wanted to
It
see...
was so cool. The only disappointing thing is you couldn't take any pictures. Just they wanted to, I don't know, preserve the artifacts, or I think that's part of it. But no, it was so cool.
Well, I don't remember what happened because I don't know. I had to stay with the main group then for a certain amount of time then, and I don't remember what we did. But anyways, the group was like, "Okay, Doc, goodbye. Go meet up with your advisor at the Smithsonian." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So away I went, walking around Washington, D.C. by myself.
Am I making too much noise?
No.
Okay.
And I don't know how, I don't know why, but I couldn't find the Smithsonian.
What? The Smithsonian is not a museum. It's like 19 museums.
Right.
And it's like a huge strip between the Lincoln Memorial and the Capitol. How do you miss it? It's like 2 miles long.
Well, the issue was Google wasn't updating quick enough as I'm walking, right? And so, or it like turn here, but then I'm in the middle of some plaza and it's like, you've arrived. I'm like, arrived where? There's no signs. I don't know where I am. And so I'm like trying to figure out like where I'm supposed to go, and it just by the time I made
Where did you go? Did you
Huh?
want to go to the Holocaust, or where were you trying to go?
I wanted to go see Archie's chair.
RG?
Archie Bunker from All in the Family.
I don't know who that is.
It's a fictional character in a TV show from the 60s. Anyways, I wanted to go see that part of the Smithsonian. And I could not find the freaking entrance to the Smithsonian. That part, anyways. By the time I made it, I had 15 minutes to get into the museum. By the time I made it into the museum, I had 15 minutes to go find his chair, get the pictures, and get back out. I managed to do it, but I didn't see crap.
Well, yeah, because, like I told you, there's like 19 museums of the Smithsonian.
But that's
When
not
when
why
we
I
were-
got lost.
No,
I had a specific museum punched into it, and Google did not take me there. She took me to the other side, but to get back around to the entrance, it wasn't a straight shot.
Wait a second. Yeah. Wait.
This was
Okay, maybe you did answer my question. I forget what I was trying to ask.
This was like 5-6 years ago, so I can't remember.
I mean, the last time I went to DC was when I was an 8th grader, right? So that was like 9 years ago, thereabout.
Yeah.
And we went to 3 museums. We went to Air and Space.
We didn't get to do that.
National History and American History.
I did get to see the national. I did see.
I think we spent about like an hour and a half, 2 hours at each one.
So we did get to see the Natural History Museum. I kind of forgot about that. We got to see the actually I think the coolest museum. Had I gotten to see the Air and Space Museum, the coolest one
They're actually making an addition when I went. When I went, they said like opening spring, whatever the next year was. So they're doing some renovations. They're always adding stuff to the Smithsonian, but they're doing some big addition when I went.
Well, so we got to see the Freedom of Speech Museum.
I don't know what that one is.
Oh, it didn't exist when you went.
Oh.
It was like brand new.
Yeah, I also went to the National Archives where the Declaration of Independence was.
We did not get to see we did not get to see that.
Oh, really?
No.
I mean, it's like, I don't know. Kind of quick walkthrough, they have like a big old room where all the famous documents. I think they had the Constitution in there. And it's like a quick walkthrough and then you're done. And then there's a gift shop, obviously.
I don't think I got to see No, we didn't get to see that.
That's how a lot of the things were. It's like they kind of said it's free inside the museum. And they said, let's all meet at the gift shop at this time. Or at the front doors at this time. So we were free to explore the museum, but not the entire Smithsonian, go to each museum we wanted.
I don't even really remember much anymore. It was only 5 years ago, but I can't remember anything.
Yeah.
Oh well. No, but there were...
We should go again.
Eventually, yeah. But yes. Another... Okay. Story time from...
Story time. I love story time.
From Friday. What a story. So...
Friday.
Yeah, I forgot to tell it to you. There's a lot of things I was supposed to do yesterday at Christmas. Like, I was supposed to give my brother a check. Never did that.
You were supposed to go to the bank. You've been waiting for a Saturday that you didn't work so you could go to the bank.
But I had to get... See, the thing was, I had to get back home. I had to get to Will's, so I couldn't stop at a bank.
But you also could just fill out a deposit slip and drop it off after hours.
Yeah.
Do you know you can do that?
I've never tried to fill out a deposit slip at UBT. I don't know if they would let me do that. Well, no, it's not.
No, for Wells Fargo.
What? Why would I drop it off at Wells Fargo?
Where do you bank at?
UBT.
Oh.
Then they're all paperless. I don't know if I'm sure I can do it, but I don't know if you really can. But anyways, so Friday, we were supposed to do Christmas. We were supposed to do the Secret Santa. And so I get off work and I go straight to the old house. Go straight to my roommate's house. And I get there, it's only Rooster and I. And he's like, oh, Rondo will be here in a little bit. Rondo shows up, and it's like, okay, everybody was supposed to be there at 6 so that we could go to Mellow Mushroom at 7.
Where? Is that a restaurant?
Yeah, you never been to the Mellow Mushroom?
No, never heard of it. Where's it at?
It's downtown, the Haymarket.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, I never been to it, but I knew about it because they've been there every year. Anyways, I got to be a part of the Mellow Mushroom trip this year. So, anyways, we about 6:05 rolls around, and AK and his girlfriend were still not there. And so we text them, like, "Where are you?" And they're like,
Where are you?
"Huh?"
Go on.
And they're like, "Oh, yeah, we haven't left yet." And they're in a town that's an hour away.
What?
And so, like, we all kind of looked at each other like, I guess we'll do it after Mellow then. But the issue was, Rondo's girlfriend was drunk at the time because she just graduated from college. And she started drinking early. Like, they had drinks
she
at
graduated in
work.
December?
Huh?
She graduated in December?
Yeah, but she didn't get to walk because her college's so small that they don't have a winter walk. They only have a spring one. So she'll walk in the spring if she wants to.
I see. Okay, continue.
So anyways, like she started drinking early that night, so she was wasted. And so obviously after Mellow, she wants to keep going to the bars. And then
21, 22?
What?
Age.
She's 21. She just turned 21 in May. That was the last time I went to the bars. Was her birthday
Well,
party.
I'm just curious, because I feel like after you reach, like, 23, you kind of live that hype, and you don't really...
But she had just
feel the
graduated.
urge
She
to-
wanted to keep drinking.
I know. I don't know. But you don't really feel the urge to get wasted on special occasions.
Well, she was old. Well, the thing was, they got her drunk at
least in
work.
my experience.
Yeah.
Always forced?
Well,
It was
no,
encouraged?
I mean, she showed up to work. End of the day rolled around, like probably I think an hour or two, and they're like, "Hey, let's have drinks."
Absolutely.
And so she got drunk at work and then went straight to the bar.
What? At work? Off the clock, I imagine?
No, on the clock. She's a bit of a lightweight.
Aye.
So it didn't take much. So her and all of her work friends were out at the bars already. And then we don't have a name for this other person.
Gender?
Female. She wanted to go to the bars after Mellow, or at least to go to one bar.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, listen, I gotta be up tomorrow morning. I gotta be up Saturday morning so I can go to work.
Yeah.
Anyways, so we go to Mellow, and we're sitting there, and we're waiting for everybody to show up, and we get a text from from Rooster's girlfriend, and she's like, "Hey, I'm gonna bring two of my work friends." And I looked at Rondo, and not Rondo. I looked at Rooster, and I'm like, "No." And he's like, "What do you mean no?" And I'm like, "Where are we gonna put them? Look at the table room that we have available, and where are we gonna put them? Because it's gonna be because obviously your girlfriend's gonna want to sit with you, and they're gonna want to sit with her because they don't know anybody else here, which means I have to go sit in the booth." And I'm like, "I don't want to go sit in the booth." Based off the number of people at the table, I'm like, "I don't want to go sit in the booth."
You don't like booths?
No,
Why?
I used to like them. I don't like them anymore.
Why is that?
I sit too far away
Sit too far away?
from the table.
Oh.
Anyways, and then if you gotta get out to piss or something, if you're stuck in the middle, it's like, or you gotta get up all the time to let somebody out.
Fair enough.
So, anyways, I was like, I'm not sitting at the booth. Luckily, Rooster had a mind of his own still, and he was like, "Yeah, you know what? No, they're not coming." So they didn't show up, although they were thinking because they were all thinking, oh my gosh, what if we set Doc up with them? I'm like, no, no, no. I just want to eat my dinner in peace, then go home and open presents, and then so I can go home and go to sleep so I can be up at work the next morning. That didn't happen. Anyways, but they didn't show. But
What did you get were you 50-50 on the introvert-extrovert test?
no, I was a 60% extrovert. 69 maybe. I don't remember. Anyways.
Continue.
So, well, if it wasn't for work, I would have been fine staying out all night. But I had work. I don't want to be dead the next day. I'm dead now. This weekend has been a killer. Oh my god. Anyways, I ended up taking a nap by accident today for like a half hour.
How convenient.
So, anyways, everybody shows up. We have dinner. The girls didn't even sit with us. So it was just me. It was just the boys at one table. The girls were at another table. So
Yeah.
it wouldn't have mattered if our two friends had shown up or not.
Oh,
And so then we go to, have you ever been to Alchemy?
no.
Oh, went to the bar.
I don't go anywhere.
I thought you go out with your friends all the time.
Yeah, like 2 years ago. I told you, that's a 21-year-old thing. 21, 22 is when you go out and go to all
But you always
different
say
places.
you always hang out with your friends on Friday nights. So do you go to their apartments then?
Exactly, yeah.
Ah.
I just go to their place and hang out. We don't go out and go downtown bar hopping and all that. No, that's something you do when you're 21, 22. After that, because everyone who's at the bars is that age, and then you just feel old.
Well, not at this
Despite
bar.
the fact that I may look like I'm still,
16.
yeah. Despite that, you just kind of feel a little bit out of place because everyone there is just crazy.
Yeah.
And you just kind of just want to just hang out and just chill a little, You don't want to be going shots for shots and all that.
Well,
So
Alchemy was the place to be then for you because we were the youngest people there.
yeah,
There was probably nobody else there that wasn't at least 27 plus.
oh, so I'll need to wait a few years.
Yeah, maybe. 'Cause we strolled in there. I'm looking around. I'm like, I mean, I'm dressed for this place
Yeah.
because I just came back. I was just at work. So I'm like, okay, I'm dressed to be here, unlike some of the other people with me. Because some of them are wearing cowboy hats. And I'm just like, but I am not old enough to be here. Anyways, so we get there, they order drinks, and AK's girlfriend, I think her nickname's Eminem. We need to get these stupid sheets pre-printed. Anyways, she didn't bring her ID, quote unquote, didn't bring her ID, and so they threw her out. However, the funny part was they asked, "Oh, so if you guys can stay, you're going to need to have your ID." And so she left, and they never asked to see my ID or the other people. Some of the other people who didn't get drinks, their ID.
Did you tell me this yesterday?
I might have. I don't remember.
I remember this story. Someone got thrown out and you got let in. They didn't check your ID or something like that.
Yeah. So she got thrown out. So they went back to the house, and they're like, "We're leaving at 10." So we hung around at Alchemy for probably, I don't know, half hour.
Did you guys get drinks or food or anything? Or?
They got drinks. I kind of just sat there.
Like a what?
I didn't want to be there. I wanted to go home. It was almost 10 o'clock. Anyways.
Yeah, see, you're like me. I've gotten to the point where I just feel like an old man now. And I want to go to bed by 10.
Well, it's not like, again, if I had work the next morning, I would have been fine staying out.
But would you have drank anything?
Well, I never drink.
So how do you feel engaged? I don't know. To me, it just feels like you cannot fully have fun without, following the group. I don't know. Maybe you have your ways.
Bars are boring, period, whether you're drunk or not. Honestly, just being there, I don't understand. I don't understand what the appeal is. And they're like,
that's
oh,
because
we
you're
have.
not,
And
that's
like,
because
oh,
you're not drunk.
well, that's the
because you're
thing.
not drunk.
And then they're like, well, you have to be drunk. And I'm like,
Exactly.
then what is
That's
the point?
problem.
And I
That's
said,
that's literally the problem.
that's-
You're not drunk.
well, no. And then I tell people, what is the point then? If I have to be drunk to have fun, which I can be I can be sober and have fun. Case in point, last night. And I can have the best night of my life without being drunk. Case in point, last night. Anyways, so we're sitting there, and they're like, all right, I guess we better head back to the house so we can get the presents done before M&M and AK leave. So they're like, so Outback's like, hey Doc, you want to drive my car for me? And I'm like, sure, why not, right?
Oh no! I'm sure this is going somewhere.
So he throws me his keys. Rondo and Rooster and I leave to go get the cars. Outback's like, it's on the 4th level of the parking garage. I'm like, okay. We get to the 2nd level. That's where Rooster's car is that we arrived in. And Rondo's like, well, I'm going to go with him. I'm like, no, you're coming with me. And he's like, fine. So we walked around the parking garage for, I think, about 15 minutes.
You should have did what I did. Remember that one time we went to the movie theater and we got lost, we turned on the horn?
I did that. The issue was I didn't want to turn on the panic button because, well, I didn't want to hit the panic button because there were literally just people hanging out in the parking garage for some reason. Well, by this point, Rooster was gone. He had picked up the girls and Outback and everybody at the bar, and they were already basically almost all the way back to the house. We were still lost in the parking garage trying to find Outback's car. So I didn't want to hit the panic button, so I was hitting the lock button. However, his car doesn't honk when you hit the park button.
Yeah, my dad's truck does that.
It goes beep beep.
No, it's like my dad's truck, like it doesn't. It does something like that. It's like real soft because the other day, last week, I had to take his truck or whatever, to my job.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a pretty big parking lot, and I forgot where I parked. And so I was hitting the lock. I didn't hit the horn. I didn't really think of that, but like I was just hitting the lock button, and then I eventually saw the lights or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it didn't make any noise.
Yep. Well, anyways, his car goes beep beep. So, had I known that, well, we still wouldn't have found it any quicker. But, anyway, so yeah, it was literally an episode of Seinfeld, because there's an episode of Seinfeld where they lose the car in a parking garage.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Oh, but the escapades are not over. We're walking to the car after I see it, and I'm like, Rondo, do we have the card to get out?
You guys had to pay.
Oh, so we get in there, and we're digging around, and we can't find it. We call him. He's like, well, I don't have it. I'm like, Mother of God. So,
oh, wait, you do need that to get out.
Yes, you do. Well, kind of. I'm getting there. So we
You
devised.
went to go get a new ticket.
So we devised a plan. We were going to do the illegal thing because it's not my car. So it won't be me if they send a ticket or something if they watch the security cameras. So the plan was I was going to hop out at the outbound gate, go get a ticket from the inbound gate, shove that ticket into the outbound gate, and leave. However, God had other plans.
What?
However, God had other plans. There were 4 cars in front of us because the car at the outbound gate their card got stuck in the machine. So they had to have somebody come out there, open up the machine, and get the card out. But instead...
Oh, because someone's card got jammed?
Mm-hmm. But instead, I've had this happen to me before. But instead of the person getting it unjammed and leaving, like with what happened with me, no, this slut decided to stick around.
What? I'm not following.
She would grab people's receipts, run them through the machine, and then let them go.
Yeah? Isn't that what you're supposed to do? Or what happened with you?
No, when I did it, the guy got my card, opened the gate, and I left. And then he left. This slut, she stood there and would take people's cards and run them through the machine.
Oh.
There was no reason for that, but she did it anyways. So we're getting up there and we're like, oh crap. We can't just get out and grab a ticket now. We're screwed. So, we're thinking, and Rondo's like, we're going to bribe her. And he hands me a 20. I'm like, oh dear God. So we get up there, and I've got the 20 like this, like the window's down, my arm's out. I got the 20 down below like this, and I'm like about to like flash it, and I tell her the story, and she's just like, well, it's $11.25 to get out of here with a credit card. You don't need a ticket to get out, but you will pay $11.25. And we're like, oh. And Rondo grabs his card. I hand him his 20 back. I'm about to hand her the card. And she's like, but for you boys, I will let it slide this one time. But no, next time, guess what you're going to pay? And we're like, $11.25. And at the same time, she's like, $11.25. She hits the help button. And she's like, I don't remember the guy's name. Let's call him Steve. Steve, let him through. She had the same voice. Steve, let him through. Opens the gate, and we drive away without paying a dime. But God forbid we were this close to paying $11.25.
So it's $11.25 without a card? Or without the little slip?
Yep.
Oh. So you don't even need to bribe them.
No, but we didn't know that.
And so you just got in and got out for free. Because she's like, I'll let it slide.
Yeah. Oh, man, what a good time. I mean, and then there was last night where we about pissed ourselves playing Cards Against Humanity.
Oh, no.
When did we start that game? And we left it, we ended at about like 12:30. But
All I know is we went to, to go look at stars or whatever, the playground, at the start of the 5th set.
yeah, I don't know how long we were there. I don't know what time we got back.
All I know is it was like 1 a.m. when we left.
Yep, that's the only thing I remember. Besides blowing your boyfriend so hard, he craps himself. Oh, man. That card. Or, no, the pedophile card. That made Kyle about piss himself, too.
No, the first one you said, that was the best.
Yeah, and it didn't win that round.
I know, because it was something he liked better.
Something with a boner.
Yeah.
And absolute crap. Did you agree with me that I should have won that instead of Kyle?
Yeah, that card was better.
Yeah,
We were all laughing for like 5 minutes.
I know.
And then he read the next card, and it was like, oh, that's good too. He's like, oh, they're all good. Now we're going to go with the second one, actually.
Yeah, I think he just, because I was winning.
Mm-hmm.
Which I ended up losing because I swear to God, you two ganged up on me at the end.
I don't know how I won.
I don't know either. You didn't win squat up until Kyle
Because
left.
it wasn't until the end when I switched decks and I got good cards.
Yeah. The last
I kept getting like celebrities and stuff.
oh,
It's like this isn't that funny.
I remember when we hit Emma Watson, and Will was like, "Who's Emma Watson?"
Actress.
And I'm like, "She's hot. She's a model, and she's an actress. That's all you need to know." Oh, and she was in Harry Potter. Oh, yeah, but last night was pretty great, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah.
It's too bad you guys can't stay late for Friday.
Friday.
Yeah, Friday at Grandpa's.
What?
We're going to Grandma's Friday.
I didn't know about this.
We always go to Grandma's on Christmas Eve.
I know. Well, I thought that's why we got together last night.
No, we always have two.
Oh, I didn't know this. First time I heard about this.
I'm assuming you're working then?
I don't work. I didn't even know. I don't work. But I didn't even know what's going on.
Oh, well, text your mom for a time. I'm not really even sure what time. I'm assuming sometime after church. So probably like 6:30 or something.
How do I know if I'm invited?
You go every year. Except,
But I didn't get an invite this year.
technically you did. I just don't think you read it.
I never got a text.
Well, your mom's been running her around without her head for the past few weeks, trying to get ready for this trip. She probably assumed you already knew.
Maybe.
What?
Maybe.
Because this is kind of more of your mom's idea.
All I know is I know nothing about this until now.
Ah. Well, we
Now
go
I'm
every year. How do you not remember going there every year?
No!
We do two Christmases every year.
No, we did one. Because this year we decided to get together at our aunt's instead.
We always do that. We always go there and do either the white elephant or the saran wrap ball, which we've done for the past 3 years. However, instead of doing lunch this year, we did dinner. And we were like, we can watch volleyball if it's on, and which is all they did, which kind of sucked. I don't think I talked to anybody there.
But did you really want to talk to your uncle and have him, make you feel bad for not having a girl in your life?
He wasn't even there.
I was just sitting on the couch.
Oh crap!
And then you went downstairs to watch the game.
I like I said, I didn't talk to anybody there. All we did was sit in the kitchen and play cards.
I mean, he basically just said hello to me. We didn't really have a conversation.
Well, anyways, they were all preoccupied with a boring volleyball game, so.
Boring is a subjective term.
Well, I know. I was about to say boring to me, but apparently to everybody else in the state, it's interesting.
It's all we have to be happy about. We don't have a football team.
Sports isn't everything. I'm happy, completely content, not caring.
But you need to have something to care about.
No. Oh, I've got the fourth segment now. It's not the piece of paper. I want to write that down. This is it. Oh, yeah. I'll have to write butter sock on here. Or the battery sock.
Mm-hmm. That's the fourth segment?
That is not the fourth segment, though. But I just need to write it down. But there's a video idea. We'll have to talk about it in the third segment. Battery, butter. And then... Oh, yeah. Our favorite segment returns. Anyways, new segment time. Second segment. Wow, this podcast is running long, and the second segment's got lots of stuff in it. So let's make this quick here.
It's been like 20 minutes, right?
It's been 40.
Oh, we started at 7:40.
Yeah. Anyways, So today, the 24th, if for everybody watching this, is supposed to be, hopefully, fingers crossed, the launch of the James Webb Space Telescope. Hopefully.
Well, it's supposed to be yesterday.
Yeah, and then it was supposed to be the 21st, but looks like it got pushed back again. But anyways, I thought I'd just let everybody know, and I figured I could use this as the title, despite the fact that we're not even going to really talk about that much, unless you have some comments to talk about it on.
Not really.
No. We've kind of talked it to death. It's going to be really cool. It's going to bring up some really cool information. And I'm jealous because it has the best stargazing spot in the entire solar system. The best stargazing spot within 1 million miles of here. But, whatever. I'm jealous. But in bigger news, we sent a spacecraft that touched the sun.
What do you mean touched?
So the sun has an outer atmosphere, right? Called the corona.
Mm-hmm.
And the Parker Space Probe just touched the corona.
Is it burned up?
No, it survived.
Oh.
And it's going to do this again, like 5 or 6 more times. Until like 2025. I don't remember what's planned after 2025 is.
Can you imagine what its velocity is right now? And if they just super launched it?
Oh, it's only
like the gravitational assist from it would be insane.
Yeah. It's only getting faster. And wow, the probe will be in 2024, it will be 3.9 million miles away from the sun's surface. That's crazy.
Yeah. That's what I said. Imagine if they super launched it,
Well, I mean, it would still burn up, though. That's part of the problem.
You said it didn't burn up.
Well, no, but I mean, at 3.9 million miles, you get much closer than that, you're done, bud.
Are you? I don't know how far they estimated it can go.
4 yards from the end zone. I don't know. That's still pretty damn close. Like, if we're talking like the sun.
Oh, is that like setting 100 meters? As the Earth, or what? What do you mean 4 yards from the end zone?
So, if the sun is the end zone, and the Parker Space Probe being 3.9 million miles away, that's the 4-yard line.
But what's 100 meters? Is that Earth or what?
It didn't say 100 meters.
Well, what's the scale?
It's just doing distance.
So what's your measurements you're comparing it to?
I don't know. It doesn't say. It just says, although this sounds far, researchers equate this probe sitting on the 4-yard line of a football field and the sun being the end zone.
So is the sun 20 yards long? Or 20 yards wide?
No, I don't know. I don't know. This is just distance.
Well,
it's
then
not
your scale
size.
makes no sense. I don't understand what you just said.
It's doing distance, not size.
Yeah, but your scale makes no sense to me.
If the edge of the end zone is the edge of the sun's surface and the 4-yard line is 3.9 million miles away, that's where the Parker Space Probe is.
But you're not understanding me.
I know. You want to know how big is the sun on this scale? I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Then it does matter because I don't know what 4-yard line means. Because are you setting like 20 yards to be like the radius of the Earth? Because that's how long an end zone is, and then it's 4 yards from. 4 yards makes no sense. I could say, oh yeah, it's like 3 centimeters away on this scale. It's like 1 yard away on this scale. Well, what's your scale?
Okay, the
What is your
scale
scale
is
so
a
I can
football field. That's what it's saying. The scale is
So is 100 yards where the Earth is?
I don't know. I guess now it doesn't.
See, now you understand my point. It makes no sense.
Who knows?
Your scale makes no sense.
It's not me. It's the article. Don't yell at me. Yell at the article.
I'm yelling at you because you said it.
Well, I mean, in theory, if you don't think about the size of the sun, that's really damn close.
But I don't understand it, though.
I don't know. It doesn't say. So I don't know. There isn't really a way to do that. So you could Google what the size of the sun is, and you can probably figure it out. I need that in kilometers, please. And I need the diameter. Why did this open? There's the sun. Why can't anything be in kilometers? Thank you. God. 1.3. Holy. The sun's a yard wide then.
See, your scale is broken. I don't understand it. Well, not your scale, the article scale.
Yeah.
They're just throwing numbers out there, and it makes no sense.
Okay, well, anyways, the sun's about a yard wide.
And so now it makes no sense. Because now it's saying, oh, so the Parker Space Probe is 4 sun diameters away?
Yeah, less than that.
That's my point. Your scale's broken.
Why are you... the article!
The article scale does not make any sense.
Because it doesn't make sense to you, and the one more I thought about doesn't make sense to me. But to most people who don't understand how scale works, this makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Think about it. People are like, oh, so like the probe is 4 yards from the edge of the sun. That's pretty cool.
This is what happens when you put idiots in charge of media.
However, the Parker Space Probe is probably like the size of an atom, maybe a cell, and the sun is a yard wide on this scale.
But nonetheless, how can it touch the corona if it's 4 diameters away?
That's the outer atmosphere.
But what's the diameter that you typed in, though?
That is the edge of the sun. That's the, what the hell is it called?
Core?
No.
Surface?
The what?
Surface?
Yeah. Yeah, it's it's like the surface. I watched a whole video on it. It's in the corona, but the sun's thing.
Photosphere? Oh yeah, didn't they have like something called a photosphere?
It is the photosphere.
That's the corona?
No! The corona is the corona. The photosphere is the photosphere.
Oh.
The photosphere is like what you would traditionally say is the edge of the sun.
Yeah.
But the sun has an atmosphere, because the sun isn't a defined size.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is a defined size, but it's not like it gets its atmosphere gets thicker and thicker and thicker, you know, and its properties change as you go deeper in.
Mm-hmm.
And the edge of a star is of its atmosphere, anyways, is determined when the particles become faster than the magnetic waves.
What?
And they turn into solar wind. There's a fine line. I mean, it's amorphously shaped because of the way magnetic field lines work around stars. But it's this transition point where you get solar wind instead of... Yeah, because these charged particles travel at the speed... I don't remember. There's a whole video by Scott Bain. You can watch it.
Where are you going with this?
Anyways, that's the edge of the corona, and that's where the Sparker space probe just skimmed.
I see.
But, pretty cool. Either way,
Now,
it's really not that close, but still pretty damn close. So,
closer than I've ever been to the sun.
closer than you ever will be to the sun.
Don't say that.
Do you want to be
I
this close to the sun?
I like to dream big.
Do you want to be 3.9 million miles from the sun?
Be a pretty good view.
You'd be blind. Or
Pretty good view.
vaporized. And somehow
Maybe.
the corona's hotter than the surface. But I'm not gonna ask questions about why and how that works. I'm just gonna accept it as a fact and move on. Dr. Becky also talked about this in a video. Anyways, yeah, that's pretty cool. But I figure end
Pretty
of the
neat.
world. What?
So that's pretty neat.
Yeah, but I figured the end of the world is a bit more interesting. So here, let's briefly watch this here, shall we? I'm gonna mute it because this probably has some copyright music here. Okay, now it's gonna be gone.
Heat is fueling weather-related disasters at an unprecedented rate. Earlier this week, unseasonably warm weather brought Minnesota the first December tornado in its history.
I can't really hear it.
I can't make it any louder, so you got to turn your end up.
Okay, well, don't speak when it's over so I can turn my volume down so you don't blast my ears out when you talk.
Okay.
Many tornadoes to rip through the central U.S. December is typically a modest month for tornadoes, on average only 23 nationwide. But in 2021, 116 have been reported this month already. This isn't just a U.S. problem, it's a global one. A super typhoon has devastated the Philippines this week, leaving dozens of people. In fact, the world is poised to burn a record amount of coal next year, undermining efforts to cut greenhouse gas emissions. I'm going to bring in science educator Bill Nye. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. So, Bill, we are seeing the results of...
In southern Florida would be underwater. And the problem with that is, you say, well, I've been around 19 inches of snow or something like that, but this would be catastrophic. A place like Florida would be, in southern Florida, would be underwater. And the problem with that is people will leave. Where are they going to go? What are they going to do when they leave? It won't happen instantly, but it'll happen fast enough. And this gets back to the old problem that we've been talking about for 30 years, where scientific concerns have not been heeded by governments, by people around the world, because generally the fossil fuel industry has been very successful at introducing this idea that scientific uncertainty, when will the glacier fall? Tomorrow? 10 years from now? Well, that's too uncertain. No, the scientific uncertainty is somehow the same as doubt about the whole thing. And this is leading to catastrophes big enough where I think people are noticing them.
Right. So, I mean, on that note, if it can take decades, as we know, to see, for example, the fallout from rising sea levels. So how do you convince people that now is the time to act when it's so hard to visualize?
Well, I don't think it's that hard to visualize right now. The tornadoes or the very large tornado that swept through Kentucky set all kinds of records. It was on the ground for 2.5 hours, went over 200 statute miles, tore up everything in December. So I think people will now be able to see that these.
You good?
It cut out?
No, I wanted to talk about it because they're just gonna get into other stuff.
Oh, like it stopped in the middle of the sentence. I didn't know what happened.
What? I stopped it.
Oh.
You good? Can I talk at normal volume?
Oh, yeah.
Right. So what they're talking about, they were talking about the tornadoes, but they were talking about this giant iceberg, and I accidentally skipped too far ahead, but I didn't want to listen to him yammer on about this other crap. But anyways, there's a glacier in Antarctica that is the size of Florida.
Yeah.
And it's become very unstable. It's started to crack.
Yep.
Oh, have you heard about it?
No.
Anyways, they're calling it the Doomsday Glacier because there are estimates that in 5 years it will completely melt and raise the world's sea levels by like 2 feet.
Yeah.
And, this isn't like, an inch per year or whatever like they've been advertising. This thing, if something isn't done now, will break off the coast of Antarctica, collapse, and then raise sea levels.
Yep.
And if anybody knows a fun little fact about Florida, because they brought up Florida, the average elevation of Florida is 12 feet. Oh, is it 10 feet?
No, I said 18. That was my guess.
Oh, yeah, it's like 12 feet. So, 12 feet is shorter than the normal house. So, yeah.
So you're safe. You can climb on your roof.
Well, but your
You
house...
said it's shorter than the average house.
Yeah, but you're gonna be swimming... Either way, this glacier is bad news. And, everybody's been talking about sea levels gonna, in 2 decades or whatever, it's gonna, we're gonna have mass migrations, it's gonna it's starting to happen. This is gonna happen in the next 5 years. This will actually affect us on a real time scale that we can comprehend. Not 10 years, it's hard to comprehend a whole decade, especially when we've only been alive for 2.5.
Yeah.
But 5 years? Yeah, I can comprehend 5 years. Hell, the last 4 have been, pretty damn, we just talked about the last 4 years, they've been a thing. So, 4 years is pretty, it's high school, it's college.
The thing is, Earth is on a cycle, though. It does have periods of extreme heating and cooling and ice ages.
Right.
It operates on a normal scale. It's just that we are influencing the next cycle to occur sooner than expected.
Yeah, we're supposed
and the changes that have historically happened, I guess, could be more severe. I think it's inevitable that our species, 100,000 years from now, will go extinct. I think it's inevitable. But it's one of those things we like to feel like we're in more control than we are.
100,000 years, that's not a very long time.
That's just me throwing a number out there. Because the thing is,
120,000 years is the blink of an eye for a species.
Yeah, well, no, see, the thing is, right? Dinosaurs were around for several million years. All it took was a single asteroid, so the theory goes, to wipe them out.
And maybe a super volcano.
Then mammals came around, right? The first anatomically modern humans were like 50,000 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where, do aliens exist? Because if they do, who's to say that, they're a million light years away or whatever? Well, by the time that we would ever get there, by the time we ever send a message there was a number that was thrown around that said, 100-some thousand years is the maximum lifespan of a complex civilization. So starting from industrial age, 100,000 years from now,
Really?
most civilizations die out. I mean, they estimate numbers, right? I mean, we can't. There's no data to base it off of.
Yeah. I did.
But
Yeah.
I read it somewhere, right? But the idea goes is that you send a message out, and the society is already gone by the time the message arrives there, because sending a message out is going to go at the speed of light.
There was.
And so you could. And the idea is that some life cycles of Earth and other planets that are similar to Earth are going to go through the same phases. Extinction events are going to happen.
I mean, though, the thing about
There have been, I think, 5 major extinction events. Seven major extinction events in Earth's 4 billion year history. I mean, yeah, sure, it may take millions of years, but the idea is that our life, human life, will end eventually. It's inevitable that it will end. We're not going to live to see the heat death, because the heat death literally means that there's a single proton left.
Right.
No one's going to. There's not going to be a society around it.
Nope.
But the problem is, are we increasing the expiration date? Are we making ourselves expire sooner than it could be? Similar to the idea, that a milk has expiration date of about, 2 or 3 weeks. Well, if you leave your milk sitting out overnight, every 10 degrees Celsius, you increase the temperature, biological and chemical processes multiply by 2 times. It doubles. And so your milk can expire quicker. You influenced something that could have been prevented. Right? And so it's the same idea with climate change. Is what we're doing now, the way that we're living our life, influencing something on a rate to where it will become noticeable in the entire species' lifetime? I think the answer to that is yes. And
in what way?
I mean, I don't know if it's 5-10 years, like they're saying.
Well,
I think I do agree. It is a problem that needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
And it's, I guess, one that not a lot of people want to address because they feel stubborn. They want to keep making money because things are working the way they are. They know the sun's going to keep rising tomorrow. They know they're going to come home, and have, hopefully a family to return to every morning, It's those simple things in life that they're like, this isn't going to change overnight. But it'll slowly begin to dawn on them.
Is going to change overnight.
My point is that you're not going to wake up one morning and the sun's not going to rise. You're not going to wake up one morning and step in a puddle of water.
But I mean, this glacier, though, 5-year time span, that is overnight. People talk about, 5 years goes by in the blink of an eye.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't speak for us, but I mean, this 5 years will go by in the blink of an eye for the coast. It may come in the form of a hurricane, like Katrina, that permanently floods areas of Florida. Or it may just be a slow, gradual boil to the point where one day you wake up and you're sitting in a pool of water because a levee broke down the street that we didn't think was going to break. We thought it was going to last. But there was some liquefaction of some sand beneath the levee that caused it to break that the engineers missed when they built it. Because that happens a lot in Florida. And now you're moving to the Midwest because there's nowhere else for you to go.
It's also one of those things, you think about 5 years, it's like, it sounds unlikely. I mean, I don't want to be the one to say that they're wrong. I don't know if they are wrong.
I hope
never
they're
comes
wrong.
to the numbers. It's one of those things, you hope they're wrong. But it's also one of those things. It sounds a little far fetched. Just like 5 years. Gosh. It sounds unlikely, but I'd never crunched the numbers. I don't know what all the data they're pulling in to come up with these numbers. And if it is true, I don't know what we do to stop it. Because I'm sure they're using projections. If we continue our current output of CO2 and historical rises in temperature, this is what would happen. We also have to remember that it's a huge mass block of ice, and I mean I don't know if we've ever seen something that massive melt before, so we don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's formulas out there, taking the density of ice and all that. You can figure out, Newton's law, how long it take to melt and all that. I'm sure it can be done.
They're just saying that it's like once it collapses, they don't know. That's the thing. They know it will take 5 years for it to melt. They just don't know when it's going to collapse.
Wait. Once it melts, wouldn't it run off into the ocean or what? No.
So this thing, it's gonna break off the coast of Antarctica.
Yeah.
However, it's going to collapse before then because it's a massive iceberg here. And once it does, we know it will take 5 years for it to all mix into the ocean, raising the sea level 2 feet in 5 years.
I thought you said 12 or...
No, that's the average elevation of Florida.
Oh, it'll raise it 2 feet.
It'll raise it 2 feet. Which is a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing's the size of Florida. So,
yeah.
12. So we don't know when it's gonna collapse. That's the thing. That's what they were talking about. It could be 10 years. It could be 20. It could be tomorrow. All we know is that when it does, we have 5 years to.
But see, the thing that I never really understood, right, is how you know where the water is going to end up, right? Because the ocean is not uniformly at a constant height. The difference, like the Panama Canal, right? The Pacific Ocean and Atlantic Ocean have a difference of like 40 feet or 40 meters or something.
I mean, it's probably an average.
But my point is, right, is that the ocean is not at the same...
Oh, no, yeah. I thought about
everywhere.
This.
And so how do you know where the water is going to end up, right? Because it also depends on Earth's rotation. Earth's rotation is going to make the water pool up towards the equator. Because that's where it's going to get sloshed around to, that's where the Earth's bulge is the equator.
Yeah, I thought about
and
this.
So
I was like,
how do they know how high it's going to rise? How do they know, like, how the influence of all the land masses? Because, I'm sure even a land mass, like, South America, whatever, it could affect where the water's going to go.
I mean, it's possible
and
with
so
just a thing of this size.
How do they know that enough water is going to end up in Florida to the point that it raises the elevation 2 feet? And how do you know how far inland it's going to go as well?
So, I mean...
Because there's also buildings. How do you know how far inland all the water's going to go? That's a part of it I never really understood.
I have no idea how they calculate those numbers. I'm sure there's some supercomputer somewhere that has it all crunched and knows. I mean, that all can be modeled.
Yeah, but I'd like to know. I know it can be. I'd like to know like how that's solved. You know,
I wouldn't want to see those equations. They're nasty.
I would.
They're probably pages and pages.
Oh, I
and
know,
pages.
but I'd like to understand it. You know, it's something I'm intrigued about.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could go get your master's and study climate and climatology.
Maybe.
Go study climate change. Go study this iceberg before it breaks off and ends some third world country's economy. That's arguably what's going to happen. Yeah, sure, some people in Florida are going to be homeless. But more than
But the
likely,
thing
we're
is,
just going
I
to see
don't
some
think-
third world countries completely collapse because now
The
they
thing
don't.
is, what I'm on the fence about is, say this does happen in 5 years. We're not going to change our ways overnight, I don't foresee,
Nope.
until we see literal effects from it.
It's too late.
And even then, it's not like we're just all of a sudden just going to switch off power from power plants and just say, sorry, only solar and wind and renewable sources now. No,
Germany did it.
I don't foresee the U.S. doing that.
Oh, we can't. I mean,
Because
we
we're
have
literally a
constitution.
world. If we stop doing that, we literally would make the world go into a crisis.
Oh, you want?
Because we are the major. What are we, like, ranked 4th in exports or something?
Yeah.
Like, we're like a leading or first. I don't even know. We're like a top contributor to the world's exports.
It's China, then the U.S. More
So
than likely.
second, that's still my point, though. Then China would be affected too.
China doesn't care.
They
They've
have
got
a coastline.
They've got 1.4 billion people. They need if
That live on the
levees need to be
coastline.
built tomorrow, they could have
live
the
on the
entire coast of
coastline.
China raised within a year.
What?
China has so many resources and so much money, and they don't care about human lives, and they have so much labor that if this were going to happen, in a year, they could literally go and levy the entire coast of every single coast in China that would cause potential problems, have them raised like 4 feet or however many feet they want, and problem solved. They
Not
would
in 5
build levees
years.
overnight.
Not in 5 years.
If China wanted to, I guarantee you, they could probably have majority of their cities completely protected within a year. They have that kind of resources.
But it still doesn't hide the fact that I don't think things are going to happen overnight.
Oh, they're not going to change those ways. If we want to talk about people changing their ways, let's look at Ukraine right now.
And go on.
Oh, this is a fascinating situation that's going on in the Ukraine. Basically, Russia's pissed. Putin's pissed, I should say. Putin's being pissy that NATO wants to make Ukraine a partner. Putin claims that NATO is a offensive relationship, not a defensive relationship. And so he doesn't want any more NATO members, and he doesn't want any more missiles, medium or short range, in countries that could impact Russia.
So he doesn't want Ukraine to have missiles.
Well, he doesn't want them in NATO. He doesn't want them in... And he's just acting like a little baby. And so his reaction to NATO, not really caring at this point, is to launch a full-scale invasion of the Ukraine. Right now, he has 175,000 troops amassed at the border that literally once the ground freezes, it's a matter of go.
And the ground freezes.
Well, yeah, you can't roll tanks across. Don't you remember how Napoleon couldn't invade Russia because the ground wasn't frozen?
No, I thought it was because it was too cold and they didn't like the winter.
Well, yeah, what happens... So, okay, we got to understand Western Europe here. Eastern Europe, I should say. So in Eastern Europe, to move any armies across it, you have to do it in the winter.
Okay.
Back in the day, it had to be done right before the most bitter part of winter started, but the ground had to be hard enough so that your horses and stuff didn't sink in the mud. That's why Napoleon failed. That's why Germany failed.
Mm-hmm.
Because he thought he could get it done in the summer. Well, to get tanks to roll across Eastern Europe, the ground's got to be frozen because it's too muddy otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
So, Putin's waiting for the hard frost to hit, which is in January. And once that hits, all he has to do is say, go. And Ukraine will be under Russian control within probably a week.
I see.
So, Russia's now saying, hey, NATO, we'll have... Actually, it was funny. So, Biden had a talk with Russia. No issues. I thought this was fascinating. Biden was like, hey, Putin, we need to talk. And they had a conversation. They went on Zoom and they had a convo.
Welcome. Let's have a vote.
What?
We said welcome. Let's have a vote.
Right. However, Germany, France, and some other leader of some other country were like, hey, can we have a talk to Russia? And Putin just flat out ignored them. And I'm like, you have two other massive economies in the world, France and Germany, that just get ignored like they're a high school girl texting their crush. Like, what? Just straight up getting ignored. But when Biden, who I don't think Vladimir respects in the slightest, says, let's have a talk, he's all ears. And actually, the Biden administration came out Saturday saying that if Russia invades Ukraine, Russians will go home in body bags.
If Russia invades Ukraine,
Russians will go home in body bags. And I'm like, okay, that's in the right direction of the U.S. is actually going to, NATO is actually going to back Ukraine if they get invaded. However, you could say that you're going to get body bags, but that also could just mean what your plan is to do right now, which is continue to train Ukraine troops and give them missiles. Which is not going to slow the invasion. Russia's might break a tooth when they invade Ukraine. They're still going to take over Ukraine and they're going to occupy it, but it's going to be a little bit more bloody and a little more costly than they expected.
Well, why does Ukraine need missiles?
So they don't get invaded by Russia?
But isn't Russia invading them so they don't get missiles?
Yep.
So why do they need to give them missiles in the first place?
Because Ukraine doesn't want Russia to invade them. Because Russia already...
But they're invading them because they're getting missiles.
Yep.
But why do they need missiles?
Because they don't like Russia.
So? They're getting along just fine?
No, they're not.
Why?
Does the Crimea Peninsula ring a bell?
No.
Russia annexed a whole half of the country in 2014.
They're so mad about that?
The whole Western world's still pretty mad about that. 15,000 people have died because of that.
Oh.
A whole section of the country still says it's under Ukrainian control on the maps, but Russia says otherwise. And you'll get shot by a
Why
Russian.
does Russia need that land?
So they can have a warm water port, so they can have a navy, and they can control the world.
Why do they need to control the world?
Because they don't like the U.S. controlling the world.
Are we controlling the world?
Yeah.
I don't know. We don't really have 11 time zones.
I mean, we literally we have a fleet sitting in every ocean on standby, waiting to basically block up any major ports within, a day, and could bring entire economies to a standstill within a month at the whim of a finger. I think we kind of have parts of the world, by the neck.
I suppose.
However, the U.S. has threatened, we're just going to do sanctions. You know what Putin's response to that was? He went and talked with China, and China's like, we're not allies, but we're best friends. I don't know if he said best friends, but he said good friends. I'm like, what does that mean?
They're not allies.
Yeah, but they're like, if Russia can't trade with literally anybody else in the world, China will buy crap. China has the ability to just buy crap, so why not? If that's what it takes to keep Russia alive, they'll do it. However, China's mad because they have 4 major importers they import food from, 3 of which are NATO members.
Yeah.
And one of them is now a major non-NATO ally. Which means that if the U.S. wanted to, we could make China starve and literally shut down the entire country. Because they import food from us, Brazil, New Zealand, and some other country, I think. They would starve. Maybe not New Zealand. It doesn't make much sense. Either way. Point is, we might get to see a war. Yay! There might also be a war in the Middle East again. I don't know how much the U.S. will be involved, but Iran is getting really antsy, and they're getting real close to getting nukes ready to launch, it kind of seems like. So yeah, that's pretty cool too. You might get to see the first nukes launch since the 40s. Are you okay over there?
Yeah, I think so. I'm dying over here too.
I'm fine. Maybe it's time for the 3rd segment. News segment time. Your comment. Actually, I think we have a sizable collection of comments. Ooh, hello. Fantastic. I will respond later. Alrighty here. Let's take a look here. How to cure pork / how to make your own ham. DIY 23. This video has done incredibly well. It has 23.
I saw that one.
Huh?
I saw that one.
Yeah. It's not even that good of a video, and it's done very well. I'm very happy. Anyways, I'd be happier if it did even better, but I'll take 23 views. The water bottle. So curing pork shoulder makes it ham? Huh, the more you know. Yeah, his mind was completely blown. He had no idea that, pork shoulders and pork butts are just ham. And the only difference between them is that you need to cure it.
Really?
Yeah, his mind was completely blown. He's like, I did not know that.
Well, I knew the ham came from this, but...
Damn it.
Oh, we can't say that?
No, I need to get the sign for your apartment. Anyways, that's the only comment on the main channel. Dr. Sheep Gaming, we have, there were a few, I don't know what happened to them. Let me find them. It's weird. I had all these comments, but for whatever reason, they don't pop up in my comment section. Let's hit this one. Go to analytics. Okay, never mind. I'll just go to the video myself on YouTube because I don't know. Things are being difficult. It was this one, I believe. Okay, it wasn't this video, apparently. Which video was it on? What happened to these comments? I had all these comments from people telling me to go play Ark. And now I can't find them. Was it the Bedrock series? Oh, it might have been the Bedrock episode. Ah, here we go. Ah, yes. Okay. So this is Finding Diamonds in 1.18. Bedrock Let's Play number 7. Lamar David. Do you remember Lamar?
Maybe.
He was a popular commenter back in the day. He says, nice glasses. Ah, because he was there for the school shooter stream. Oh, crap. I was going to say school sniper. Oh, no. I can't just let that one slip. Oh, no, I'm going to get canceled now. Great.
Were you supposed to say that?
I'm supposed to say school sniper, not school shooter.
Oh.
But that stream was rough for comments. If there's ever a video that I have to take down in the future, it's that stream specifically.
That one.
That one. Anyways, Lamar commented, nice glasses. Have you played the new Ark update yet? No, Lamar, I have not. I heard though it's a DLC though, so it's not much of an update. But maybe in the future. The water bottle commented, iron rarer than diamonds, confirmed. Yes. I commented back, yeah, I could not find diamonds. It was ridiculous. Iron, I should say. However, no spoilers for this week, but yeah. So, future of the channel.
There's a new Minecraft update, wasn't there?
Yes. Anyways, oh, there was another comment on a live stream. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see here. Oh God. There's the live stream. Might load, we'll see. Ah, here we go. John Tomez just reinstalled Ark for the new update. I don't recognize this commenter, but I said there's a new update. Damn, I'll have to convince Rondo. Yeah, that was the first commenter I saw that was going to talk to me about Ark. It was funny. I was texting Rondo Friday before Christmas, and he was just like, "Yeah, I have a surprise and some good news today." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then at lunch, I went and read my comments, and the commenters told me what the surprise was, because they were like, "Oh my God, are you gonna play Ark? Because there's a new update out." And I'm like, I had no idea, and now it all made sense. So anyways, the future of the channel, we're at 429 subscribers, so hopefully we'll hit 430 before the end of the year. I'm still working on the moon video. There's a whipped cream video I'm supposed to make, but literally the weather is not cooperating. It's too nice for the video. Can you believe that? I have never in my life had to say this, that Nebraska weather is too nice to make a video.
I know, isn't it great?
It's too nice.
Wait, was it? It was last week, right? Wasn't it when we hit like 60 degrees? Or was that this week? No, I think that was this week, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess your weeks are funky, but yes, that was literally Wednesday. There was a tornado.
Yeah, it was like 60, 70 degrees
Yeah, and then
in December.
80-mile-an-hour winds and a tornado.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. Do you remember the smoke smell in the air?
Maybe.
Well, I thought it was from like fires in town because I knew there were supposed to be it was going to be very flammable conditions because there was strong wind and no humidity.
Sure.
And I thought that's what the smoke was from. No, the smoke came from Kansas because Kansas had tornadoes and strong winds and wildfires. It was
So it was from fires.
Yeah, just not here. It was interesting. I was reading an article and they were like, "Yeah, it was very interesting. Nebraska had some of the some of the most tornadoes during this outbreak. Yeah, has the least amount of damage compared to Iowa and Kansas, and the least amount of deaths." And I'm like, "Huh? Look at that."
People died.
Yeah, like 5 people died from those storms.
Really?
Yeah, one of them was a trucker in Iowa. His truck got blown over.
Oh man.
Yeah. So, it was intense. I'll say that much. But, yeah, very fun. Yeah, there was a tornado just, not very far from my apartment. Probably 20, 15 miles.
30 feet?
No, not 30 feet. Luckily, I was not here. I was at work. But, yeah. As for future of the channel, anyways, we had a new video idea yesterday. Well, I guess it's not a new idea. I've had the idea for a while. I just forgot to write it down. It's written down now. But, we were going to do a testing memes, I guess. We could do a good old-fashioned testing memes, and we could test the butter sock.
Yeah.
However, I wasn't content with just butter in a sock. Was I?
You had some other idea.
We're going to put batteries in a sock. Hey, you got bludgeoned to death yesterday with batteries, if you remember that.
What?
Igor,
What about him?
he beat you to death with batteries when you said you played all in on that blackjack hand when you only played one. And so then Igor beat you to death with batteries in my casino.
What? What do you mean?
We were joking that I told
You
Will.
never touched me with batteries.
I know, but the joke was I told Igor to get the chips back, and I told him any means necessary, and so he grabs the batteries.
But he didn't do anything with them.
I know he didn't actually beat you with batteries, but that was
He
the
didn't
whole...
even touch me with the batteries.
I
Which is why I'm
know.
confused. Well, that's why I'm confused.
That's because
He
you're
never even-
forgetting the whole joke was that he was going to hit you with batteries as a way to kill
But
you.
you said he did. That's why I was confused.
In the story, not in actual real life, but in the story.
Sorry.
In the role play, Igor beat the crap out of you with batteries.
What?
In real life, nothing happened, but in the
Yes,
story
that's why I'm
of the
confused.
but in the story of the casino, Igor beat the crap out of you with batteries.
Oh.
I was saying real life. God, you didn't
I
actually
was
die.
confused. I had no idea what you're talking about.
I guess I should have been more specific by saying in
Yes,
the
you
story
should have
that we made
specified.
up because we're 5-year-olds still.
Wait, you made a... What? Sorry.
I was sitting there and I said, Igor, beat him with batteries. And then we all pissed our pants laughing as he ran around the table with batteries in his hand. We also all pissed our pants during Cards Against Humanity.
Yes.
Ah. That was a good party yesterday. Even though we didn't actually party with anybody else, it was just a regular day for us. That's why we really need to get the the Stars and Cards group chat back up and running.
It never was running.
Yeah, that's true. But now that you're going to work weekends and during the week, we can't really do it.
Nope.
I can't just be like, hey, come over next Saturday night and we can play cards. Be like, I have work Sunday.
Yep.
You're a big party pooper.
Not as much as you.
What if I party pooped? Dead air. Anyways, I suppose we should get on to our fourth and final segment. Fourth segment time. Drum roll, please. Let me get back to it here. Oh, I am already there. It should be right there. You can't hear it, but the audience can. I, today, decided to get back on dating apps.
Oh.
And so I did.
Okay.
So I was on Tinder. Once again, I have returned to what it's like being pursuing people. Are you kidding me?
How is it going?
Well, this one person that I don't want to talk to that I matched with sent me a message first, and I'm just going to continue to ignore them.
You didn't want to match with them?
At first I did. And then I actually did. But
I'm confused. Do you know this person or?
no. Okay, so I matched with. So I was going through, and I was like, "Oh, sure, why not?"
Do you know this person?
No.
Okay.
Anyways, they matched with me, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, well, I wasn't gonna send anything back. Usually, if you don't send anything, nothing ever comes of it until you say something."
Yeah, usually it's the guy who's supposed to respond first.
However, in this case, she has sent me a message, and I'm now ignoring her. Because again, I
You're
wasn't
ghosting her.
Huh?
You're ghosting her.
I didn't want anything to come of it in the first place.
So
I just
then you
hit like
unmatch.
because I was like,
So you didn't bother to unmatch.
No, I never really do. I kind of leave them in there in the event that I get kind of lonely enough to the point where it's like, why not, right?
Okay.
It's an ego
Go on.
boost. Well, that's it. Anyways, I went and maxed out all my likes on Tinder and Bumble and on Hinge.
Uh-huh.
Bro, I was on freaking Hinge. I don't know what happened. But in between the last time I was on Hinge and this time, all of the attractive women have appeared.
You're all single again?
I don't know. Hinge was a desolate wasteland of ones. I'm sorry, women. I'm sorry I'm putting them on a scale. I know, Mr. Blah, blah, blah.
So now all the women who have been on Hinge in your area for the past, whatever, how many years, 2 or 3 years, they now know that to you they are a one.
Oh, yep.
Anything you want to say? An apology, maybe?
No, not really. Like I said, I already said sorry to women that I'm rating them on a scale at all. It's a terrible thing to do, but it's the only way I can convey some of these women and the way they look. I know I'm not attractive, but I know I'm better than a 1.
Or so you hope.
At least I hope. No. No. Some of these women, I know I'm better than a 1.
So you're saying if you were a woman, you'd be better than a 1.
At least better than a 1. I would say, even, just as a guy in general, I'd say I'm probably at the minimum a 4.
Yeah.
You, my friend.
At the minimum are a 0.
Whoa. I would say at the minimum you're probably a 5.
Oh, I wouldn't give myself that much credit.
If I lost
I don't
weight,
know if I'd give myself any credit.
easily be a 5 or a 6. You, my friend, are a
An
solid high.
argument could be made for a solid 1.
No. No. I know much less attractive men. Much less attractive men. Actually, it's interesting. So, I remember in freshman year of college, I asked this girl to compare me and this guy who I would say was less attractive than me. He definitely is now. But, at the time...
You got the lower ranking?
Huh?
You got the lower ranking?
I did. She's like, well, he just has like a more square face. And that's true.
So why should I listen to your scale?
Well, I'm going off what they like. That is true. I have a round face. Even if I lost weight, I'm still going to have a round face. It's literally the shape of my bones. There's nothing I can do.
Yep.
However, this man, if we're going based off looks, yeah, sure. Maybe he's better look. I still don't think he is. But if we're going just based off looks, yeah, he, I guess, would look better than me. However, if we're digging deeper than that, oh, man. No way. The man is...
Personality-wise or what?
Personality-wise, he smells.
Really?
Oh, it's terrible. When you didn't, in the dorms, you didn't want to be in the dorm room with them because the whole room smelled like BO.
Really?
You could smell him coming. He just reeked. There's a fun story that Rondo and AK like to tell. So they went out west for this 1-credit course class.
Mullen.
I don't know. They didn't go to Mullen. I don't know where they went. Anyways, they were doing like soils or whatever, or grass man. I don't remember what they're doing. Some management. And he went on the same thing. And they get out there. And he's like, oh, I didn't know we need to bring toiletries. All I have is a towel.
Oh.
Actually, no. I don't think he even had a towel. He didn't bring deodorant. He didn't bring soap. He didn't bring a toothbrush, toothpaste, or a towel.
They like to tell this story?
Huh?
They like to tell this story?
Well, yeah, because it just proves the point that this man, that we are pretty damn sure he doesn't own a stick of deodorant.
Oh, no.
Or that he uses soap when he showers.
I use soap when I shower.
Well, as do I. Most people do. Some women don't. They only shower with soap like once a week. Or at least their hair anyways. Because it's bad for your skin and hair.
I've never washed my hair with soap.
Well, shampoo is soap.
Oh. I was thinking like a bar soap.
True. I wouldn't put bar soap in your hair. No, but I still, everybody's like, it's so bad for your hair to wash it every day. And I'm like, what?
Well, actually, it depends. So I asked.
Our hairdresser.
Well,
yeah.
we used to have it, our barber. Yeah, I asked her one time because I was curious, and she said it depends on your hair. Everyone's hair is different. Some people's hair, if you don't produce enough oils in your hair, it can be beneficial not to wash it every day because your hair cannot like regenerate or whatever. It's healthy growth or whatever, like the oils it produces fast enough at the rate that you wash it in 24 hours. And so, but for some people, I don't know. I feel like I'm included in this other group.
Oh,
You
I'm included.
you don't seem to see a difference in your hair. Because for me, if I go a day without washing my hair, it feels like sticky and it just doesn't feel like soft, or it just feels like sticky and matted down and all that. And she said that's because your body's overproducing the oils or whatever, and you're not washing it out fast enough. So I need to wash my hair with shampoo every day to cleanse it and all of that. But for some people, that's not necessary. And so it kind of just depends on your hair.
Yeah. Well, my hair, I almost have to wash it twice a day.
Sure.
Because at the end of the day, right now anyways, I don't know what the deal is, but ever recently anyways, I've never had this problem before, but this fall it's kind of developed where by the end of the day, my hair is a greasy mess. It could be because I'm working out, but even today, I haven't worked out today because I don't work out on weekends, and my hair, of which I only washed my hair today because I knew it wasn't going to go anywhere.
You also have to remember that every time you touch your hair with your hand, because you produce oils everywhere, all over your body, and your hands, every time you run your hands through your hair, you're rubbing those oils. So if you're stressing, I mean, I don't know if you get stressed out at your job, but if you're in a stressful environment, you know, those oils that are in your hands, if you rub them through your hair, however often you subconsciously run your hand through your hair, all those oils are going to be left there.
Well,
And so now your hair will become sticky and oily by the end of the day. You know, just from being in a stressful environment, you know, where they're produced on your hands, now you're running them through your hair.
I must be in a very stressful environment because truth be told, I've always naturally ran my hands through my hair.
Sure. As do I.
I like to do it. I put my hands in my hair. I put my hands on my head all the time.
Yeah. And that's probably a contributor, yeah. Which is why it's beneficial for you to shampoo every day.
It's miraculous I don't have more acne than I do because I eat terrible. At least on the weekends anyways. During the week I eat a bit better. But I don't eat the greatest. And I constantly touch my face and hair. Like right now, actually, I was having a really bad breakout this week. Today, I'm not too bad. Still got a little bit of a remnants of a pimple I had on my nose. But my face is actually pretty good right now.
Yeah.
So
that's good.
Yeah, but no, my hair, though, today, I washed it at like 10 o'clock when I got home. And it's already greasy.
Yeah.
Like, it's already starting to get to the borderline point. Now, granted, I also wear headphones. Like, today, I wore headphones for like an hour doing Let's Plays. So, that doesn't help either. I always feel like my hair gets greasier after I wear headphones because the headphones kind of get sweaty and stuff.
Yeah. Could be.
But anyways, back to the Tinder thing. I've just been, everybody's like, Doc, you can get back on Tinder. Sure, you're going to have to spend some money on these first few dates. But if you find the right girl, they'll understand that, your version of a date right now is sitting at home, watching a movie, not eating dinner because I can barely afford to feed myself, let alone a second human being sometimes. And they'll understand that. You know, maybe play some Mario Kart, or we watch just Minecraft. We just watch videos all night, or we watch How I Met Your Mother. Whatever the case may be, you know, they should understand.
You are who you are.
And I was like, and I thought about that overnight. And, you know, I've been watching How I Met Your Mother, and there I was sleeping on my parents'
floor?
couch.
On the floor.
No, I slept on the couch.
Oh.
It was very painful. Because I had a cat.
Why do you sleep on the couch when you can literally roll over onto your bed?
No, I wasn't at my house.
Oh.
I was at my parents' house.
Oh.
And my room is a disaster, still.
Wait, what? How is your room a disaster?
Well, you know, anytime I need some sort of scientific equipment that I didn't have here, I go there and I get it.
Do you leave it at your place or do you take it back?
Sometimes I take it here, sometimes I take it back.
See, it seems to me that slowly over time you should have almost all your things at your place.
I don't have room for all my things.
Oh. Like, what are some of your big things you don't have room for?
All my Nerf blasters, my Legos, that kind of stuff.
Oh.
I do want to, at some point, migrate.
You never bothered to clean your room?
Well, I mean, my room was clean up until I moved out.
That's what I'm saying. After you moved out, you never bothered to clean it?
No, no one went in there. It just gets used as storage.
Oh.
And that's...
So you slept on the couch and you had a rough night.
Yeah, my shoulder was in a lot of pain up until I took a nap today. I took this nap and, like, it was an unintentional nap. I was trying to watch videos and I passed out. And it, like, fixed everything. My shoulder pain went away. I was having a hard time talking all morning. Like, my throat didn't hurt, but I was just, like, hoarse.
Yeah, I get that all the time when I talk a lot.
Yeah, I didn't even think I talked that much last night. We just must have laughed so much last night. And, like, we ran around for, like, I don't even know how long out in, like, 20-degree weather. You know?
Yeah.
I'm sure that wasn't good.
It was cold.
I didn't even really notice it, to be honest. Like, after I ran down that hill, I was sweating, so...
Yeah.
Yeah. Perks of being fat. I don't like being fat, except in the winter.
Yeah.
And anywhere else on the planet, being fat sucks, except outside during the winter. Because I am not cold.
Yeah.
My feet get cold, my hands get cold, but that's just, you know, because I'm fat, so I probably have poor circulation. But other than that, I am warm. That is nice. You know, that was always the thing back in, like, I think I just have a better cold tolerance than most people.
Could be.
Because I remember back in elementary school, I mean, most kids were skinnier than me anyways, but they were like, oh my god, it's so cold. And I'm like, it's okay. Truth be told, I'm also the person who made ice cream in minus 15-degree weather. So,
yeah, that was at my place, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, I made them at my parents' house as well.
Oh.
Are you gonna, I guess, well, you will be here, because I was gonna make it that week you were gone, but, it's gonna be 40, so...
40 degrees?
Yeah.
You can make ice cream in 40 degrees?
You cannot.
Oh.
It has to be below freezing.
Oh.
I mean, I could do it at like 32 degrees, but it will literally take all day My mixer will probably die before then if it ran for 12 hours straight.
Isn't it just plug-in?
Yeah,
How
but
does it die?
it's like any machine. Machines aren't... It's a bakery utensil. It's meant to run 30 minutes to an hour at the most.
So you're saying it
Per
only
use.
has 12 uses and then it's done for?
Consistent uses. Do you remember your dad talking about the Le Mans?
Yeah, but that's because. But think about it this way, right? I'm sure you could take a car and drive it for 24 hours straight, but you're not redlining the engine for 24 hours. That's the difference.
Right.
The Le Mans, you're literally redlining your engine for 24 hours straight. You can run. We basically drove to Mullen. Think about all of our trips. You know, that's like 3 days straight of just constant driving. Your truck's fine.
Kind of.
Why? Because you weren't redlining the engine.
True. But the mixer, I do run it at a pretty... I run it at mid RPMs when I make ice cream.
There's a reason why they call redlining the engine, because it increases the chances that things will go wrong.
Oh, there's also... The thing about KitchenAid mixers, there's no cooling on a KitchenAid mixer.
That's why you're doing it outside, though.
Well, no, like the motor has no cooling for it.
But it's outside.
Right. But there's a video by Linus Tech Tips where they put a computer in a refrigerator. And it overheated the refrigerator.
It overheated the refrigerator?
The refrigerator could not pump the heat out of its small box to keep the air cool. And so the air heated up in the refrigerator to the same air outside. Actually, it got warmer than the air around it.
Oh, with the computer inside the fridge?
Yes.
It cannot pump the air up fast enough?
Right.
Ah.
So, I mean, I am running a fan on it, but there's nothing pumping...
Wait, what if they took it into like a big old like the fridges that we have at like the grocery store?
Those would work.
See, that's what they should have done.
To keep it cooler. But that wasn't the point. The point was, could you put your computer in your refrigerator?
Well, how do you operate it? You can't have the fridge closed and stuff.
You're not putting your monitor in the fridge.
Oh, they put the desktop in the
That's the computer.
the box. What do you call it?
The computer.
Oh, well, I thought there was a separate term. The tower.
Well,
I think
that's
the term.
or the brain, but it's called the computer.
Because I think the computer includes all the.
It can.
What do they call it? Peripherals?
Yes, peripherals. It can.
Peripherals.
But in the industry, it's called the computer.
Yeah.
The rest are called the monitor.
The peripherals.
The peripherals. Yep. Anyways, so the thing about these KitchenAid mixers is I've seen one been taken apart, which is why I now know I'm not gonna want to run it for more than what we did to make the ice cream. Because there's no cooling whatsoever. There's no heat sinks. There's nothing. It's literally just a 1 horsepower brushed DC motor running into a gearbox.
Wait, so if you put the computer inside, one of the fridges, like a grocery store, would your fans ever need to run?
Yes.
Why?
Because the heat sinks. That was the thing. This is what happens. So the heat exchange, that air has to get away from there. That's what transfers the heat. And the air kind of just sits there, and it's stagnant. It doesn't move. Yeah, sure, there's some
so you need fans to blow you need fans to blow the hot air away.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
However, the KitchenAid mixer has nothing built in that can wick the heat away. Even with a fan, because of
that's all the fans do, because Do you have? Because I don't know if my computer has like liquid cooling,
No.
but I mean it has what?
You have heat pipes,
Heat
which
pipes?
I could explain what a heat pipe does
But
and how it works.
Is it a coolant? Is there a coolant inside there?
Kind of. It's
Okay.
it's a copper tube.
But also has fans to blow the hot air out.
Right. You know, ooh, okay, this is a funny, okay, all right. So, oh boy. Thermodynamics with electronics, it's fun. This works same way with the KitchenAid mixer. So you have something generating heat, either your CPU, GPU, or a KitchenAid mixer. Okay?
Yeah.
The motor of the KitchenAid mixer.
Uh-huh.
You have to get, so the heat from the chip gets put into the heat spreader of the I/O shield, I should say, of the CPU. GPUs don't have it because most people don't take their GPUs apart and put different heaters on them, so they don't have to worry about people cracking that chip and destroying their GPU. But anyway, CPUs are removable, and they can have they have a heat spreader. Anyways, so now you have to get the heat from the heat spreader, and you have to get it out of there.
Yeah.
Okay. So the heat gets so what the fastest. So you think, let's just put a fan on there. The fan can't do it. There's not enough surface area. It can't pull enough heat away. There's a limit on how fast the air. You can get the air to go faster, but the amount of heat the air pulls diminishes. It's a curve like this. The faster your velocity gets, the less and less heat you're being able to pull away with every, revolution or whatever. There's a whole video about the super fast fans they did. Anyways, so there's less heat that can be pulled away. So we have to figure out, okay, we got to get them to a radiator or something. How do we do this? Well, liquid coolers have a block of copper with channels in it that water runs through. Air coolers and laptops have, between the heat spreader and this copper pad is your, you can either have a gallium compound or thermal paste. Most people have thermal paste.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, so for air coolers and laptops, they have these copper tubes that are filled with a very small amount of water. Like it's basically none. The minute you cut it open, it all evaporates.
Okay.
And it's like there's long wires almost of copper in here. And anyways, these are very good at moving heat from one end to the other. Like, you can touch it and the whole thing will heat up to the temperature of your hand, and you can cut through ice. Action Lab has done it. He's bought heat pipes, which you can do. You can buy heat pipes off the internet, and they're such a cool thing because you can like cut through ice with them. Because they're good at pulling heat away.
Yeah.
However, let's say you have 6 heat pipes that are like a centimeter wide. That's still not enough. We're talking hundreds of watts of energy that needs to be expelled here. So then you have aluminum or copper fins that they run through that soak up the heat, and then fans run through those.
So copper feels very cold to the touch, right? Since it's a very good conductor of heat.
Yes. Except a really good conductor of heat will heat up very quickly and will feel like a plastic. But it will feel cold first.
It will feel cold because it's conducting all the heat from your hand.
Yeah, like this penny. Now, obviously, I'm comparing a penny to a quarter.
Because you don't feel temperature. Like it's, for example, you can touch say like a door, for example, right? The door is made of wood. but the door knob is made of metal, right? The door knob can feel colder than the actual door, even though they're in the same room. They should be the same temperature. The metal from the knob conducts the heat away from your hand faster.
Yeah, I
and
know.
so you don't feel temperature; you feel the change in temperature.
I mean, just pick up a quarter and a penny.
Yeah,
The penny, even yes, it does have less thermal mass.
it's made of zinc.
Well, it's
like 97% zinc. I think it's like
but it's still got a copper coating on it.
Copper coating. It's like 1% though.
Yeah, but I mean, it still feels cooler to the touch than a quarter.
Yeah.
It'll heat up a lot quicker. It heats up quicker than a dime, and a dime is even smaller.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah. Anyways, so these KitchenAid mixers, right? They're only meant to run for like an hour, so they don't need to have any cooling. And so when you open them up, it's just a brushed DC motor that goes into a gearbox. And it's encased in a metal shell. So it does have some thermal contact. Not really, because it has to reduce vibrations, which means its contact with the metal frame is rubber and plastic. He even said, he's like, I don't like the contacts. They're made of plastic instead of metal, but I understand it's to reduce vibrations. He's like, it's not very skookum, but I understand it. Why it has to be done. So it's not even like transferring that much heat to the actual metal frame of the KitchenAid mixer. So it's radiating heat to the metal mixer. And then that has to radiate heat, which isn't bare metal on the outside, it's painted. So the radiant heat and the convective heat is going to be absolutely terrible. And so the engine's going to overheat.
Yeah.
Or at least maybe not overheat, but destroy itself, which is why which is why I would never make ice cream in like just sub 32 degree weather.
Yeah, you want it to be like 10 colder.
Yes, and you have to run a fan. The fan will just get things to go quicker because wind chill. But at the same time, it also will kind of help the KitchenAid mixer a bit. Just a bit. Not much. I mean, that KitchenAid mixer was still pretty warm when I've touched it and it's felt warmer. Just making like a batch of cookies or the soap, for example. But it was still warm. And you know, it was minus 10 degrees outside, so it's like Jesus. But they ran for 2 hours, so. How did we get to this from Tinder?
You're talking about ice cream.
Oh, but how did we get to the cold part? Okay, so we got to talking about how cold it is, but why did we get from that? How did we get from Tinder to that? I don't know. Either way.
Were you talking about like what you were going to do this weekend, and it was? I don't know.
I don't know either.
Uh,
Either way, no ice cream will be made this week. I will be on Tinder. So, Phil, my question is, now that I'm hopping back on the old horse, are you going to hop back on the old horse, or are you done?
yeah, no, I'm done.
You're just going to just hope it happens one day?
Oh, it probably won't. I just kind of accepted the fact that, women have good decision-making skills, and, I think it's pretty obvious. I've accepted fate.
And on that note, I would like to thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. New podcasts every other Friday, 11 a.m. Central Time. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year's, because this fourth segment will go out on that Thursday, December 30th of 2021. So by the time you hear back from us again, it will be 2022. So can't wait. It'll be podcast 85. And good night.